So, you don't need much introduction, but Travis, you're here trying to beat your record, and I think I'm here trying to beat our team record that Tim O'Neill set in 2014.
That's awesome. So we have two cars here. Basically, they're both pushing the limits of kind of new technology. So right now, this Gymkhana 2020 car is kind of the top of what Subaru's ever produced. It's the most horsepower, it's the most downforce, it's the biggest budget we've ever had to just push the limits. And then over here, I mean, you guys were the first ones up here, Mount Washington, racing electric. I mean, just even talking about all the things, like you said, you set a different rule every year because they're learning as they're going along, like what it takes. But for me, electric is the future. Electric is, whether you like the noise and whether you're like, oh, it's going to kill sport, it's not. Because you know what? You see an electric car take off, and it's faster. And if it's faster, it's more exciting. It's more exciting, and then we can run races where we normally can't, because you can't go downtown to a lot of places. Everyone complains about noise. Motorsports parks get shut down all over the world because of noise. I couldn't build the Nitro Rallycross track that I wanted to because everyone said, oh, what are the decibel levels? Well, we're looking at 120 decibels. This thing, when it takes off, it is absolutely, I mean, it's definite. It's awesome. I love it, but there's a lot of people that don't like it. And that's made a lot of people not like motorsports. So if you go electric, and we got to work on whatever that buzzer that you got going, it should be like, I don't know, we got to have something else. Because that's not much better than the noise.
Get your team working on that.
But no, I think electric's the future, and that's the way all the manufacturers are going. That's what all the governments, that's what everyone's pushing for. So me, like, I think it's great. It's helping the environment. But I love racing, and if it's faster, that's more exciting. That's going to make racing even that much more. I mean, can you imagine going up here on what they just won Pikes Peak? I mean, it beat Sebastian Loeb's Red Bull supercar record by 30 seconds. This is ridiculous. The technology is limitless.
Right. Well, and that's one of the things that's really nice about them is reliability and maintenance. And you have an army here supporting this car. I'm here by myself, and I haven't taken the lid off all weekend. I checked the tire pressures on Thursday night, confirmed them on Friday morning, and that's the end of my prep for the week. It is interesting to see where we're going with a lot of the stuff. The attitudes are changing. We're seeing a warmer and warmer reception as we move on, and I think that people like you who are open to it, you see that as an opportunity rather than taking away from something else is really a critical part of moving forward with it. And I'm really, really grateful to hear it, because I've heard they have no soul, or they're, it's not a race car if it doesn't make noise. And as you do more time attacks and rally, you do some rallycross, but we do wheel to wheel all the time, and we find dozens of advantages. We can hear the car, we can hear the road, we can hear the tires, we can hear our competitors, which is an unbelievable.
You can't hear that ever in racing.
Right, and that's an unbelievable competitive advantage, because when you're next to somebody, you can just drive right down the road and you hear them lift. You don't even have to look. You just turn.
Yep.
He quit and I'm going.
I think electric has a lot of advantages. The biggest thing for me was getting over. I like monster trucks. I like drag racing. I like redneck American. I was like, yeah, let's do this. Let's make more noise. But what's so cool about when I watched in Pikes Peak and I saw what looked like a space shuttle launch with that Volkswagen, and it changed everything. Because for me, it went from, oh, they don't make noise, to, wow, I want to be the fastest guy up this mountain. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to need some new technology. And if it's not making noise, that's probably better for racing in general. We get more people. And I mean, I'm mostly deaf in my left ear already. I hope my kids grow up in a world where they can have as much fun as I do and they can still hear.
Well, and it's interesting, because the Volkswagen you referred to, that was, what, 11, 12, 1,300 horsepower, something like that?
A lot.
And, we're running about 200 plus or minus. Our first practice was 7th overall, but we're light. That car weighs 1,800 pounds. So that's a real key for us. One of the things I think it's gonna open up motorsport for a lot of people, because the maintenance and the service is so much less. I mean, we have a Tesla Plaid here, which makes 1,050 horsepower and requires no maintenance. You can sustain that over and over and over again without breaking things.
Well, that's what's really interesting, with this car. You can turn it up, turn it down, just like you can, but it's so much more computers are coming into that, which is I think that's the first part that kind of took people away from it, and that's what a lot of the, there's not a lot of fathers and mothers working with their sons and daughters on their vehicles anymore. But what's cool about this is, you can just tune the suspension, you can tune it, and you're not going to have to spend hours and hours changing stuff and fixing stuff out. So I think that's a huge plus.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, you're fortunate. You have this great crew. Vermont Sports Car and Subaru supports this program. But if you were just a guy going to the racetrack and you want to go racing, you don't have that opportunity. So I think it's going to make racing and motorsport more accessible over time. And I think that for you, as a superstar, as a pro in the world, you need people to actually race to enjoy and support what you do and to relate to it.
100%. The more people we can get involved, the more manufacturer support we can get, the more cities that we can get in front of and populated areas without causing a ruckus, if you will. The fun kind of ruckus, but I think it's going to be better for the sport.
Good trouble.
How are you doing this weekend so far?
So far, we're doing pretty good. We were 3 seconds faster on the top, and we were exactly the 10th the same on the bottom, but had to go around a bear on that run. So hopefully
I'm sorry, back up there?
It was a little bear. It was a little black bear. It was really fast. I slowed down. I made sure it was fun.
You want to give us a quick tour of the car? Or?
Yep. So this is basically the Subaru Air Slayer STI. It's got a lot of downforce, and this is like it's not just play. It's solid. So if you look inside, I've got enough buttons to do a space shuttle launch in there, and that's pretty much how the starts have to go. No active traction control, based pretty much off of the Rallycross platform, but with no restrictions for hill climbing. So we got an adjustable rear wing. So when I hit the brakes coming into a long straightaway, this actually goes up, provides the car with more downforce. Not as big of a deal when you're going uphill when all the weight's kind of on the back, but if you have any flats or downhills, this keeps the whole car just sucked to the ground, so it's pretty good. So a lot of rear downforce matching equally to the front. Flies really well, so that's always good.
All right. Thanks again for your time.
Well, thank you guys.